Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
And we love movies.
Forever and ever and ever.
Forever and ever. How you doing, Jamie? Happy Friday.
I'm doing really well. Happy Friday to you. I've still got Hamilton in my head. So when I just said that, I'm thinking about King George again. Forever and ever and ever and ever. That's how long the Hub on Hollywood will go on. Forever and ever.
Yeah,
and ever.
and having Hamilton stuck in your head is not a terrible thing. If that's the worst thing happening in your life, I think you've got it made.
Yeah, we're good. We're good over here. So what are we talking about today?
So what are we talking about today? Well, fortunately, the movie industry just keeps chugging along. We have some casting calls that we need to let you know about. Also, I had this idea when I was a child, and I was mocked and ridiculed by my family for just even suggesting this. Drive-ins are super popular, but instead of driving in, imagine rowing in. There's a floating cinema that is that's taking the nation by storm and by sea, and we will be talking about how that's set up. We will also be talking about the new streaming service, the new addition to the streaming wars. Peacock, NBC Universal launches their new streaming service. What is on it? What's my initial thoughts? Should you subscribe, download? Should you bother yourself with another streaming service? I'll let you know. Also, I guess we are going back to Game of Thrones, but hopefully during a better period, during a better time.
Better period of time.
Yeah, I understand there are prequels in the works.
Yes, there are some Game of Thrones prequels that are currently casting, and we're going to go back and forth and talk about whether or not there is Game of Thrones fatigue or whether you're down for this. And then, the crowning, the Star Wars topic, because it's not a Hub on Hollywood without a Star Wars topic. A Lando show, a Lando Calrissian TV show in the works for Disney Plus. We've got a lot to talk about there, so definitely hang with us.
Awesome. So to start off, thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode. If you are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook, we're also on Facebook. Please like, please share. The more you get the word out there, the more popular we get, and we can talk about more stuff, because that's always fun. We're also on social media. You can follow us at Hub on Hollywood, on Twitter, on Instagram, and you can listen to us on any major podcast streaming service. So Spotify, Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio app. All those apps and more, you can listen to us. So thanks for tuning in. There's so many channels they could be watching, but they're watching us. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. It is amazing. You are so good at those plugs. I'm sorry I got distracted for a second. My phone started going crazy because there was a weather alert.
Right now, currently we're under a thunderstorm, and lightning watch.
Watch and warning and flooding and what. It's a pretty apocalyptic outside at the moment, but it is bright and sunny in here. It is always sunny when I'm talking to James.
Oh, that's so nice. But let me tell you, if it is muggy and terrible like it is right now, perfect excuse to be inside, watch a good movie, watch a TV show, binge. Yep. I've been binging a lot. I'm not sure if the casting call is ready, but really quick, I've been binging The Last Dance. It's on Netflix, the Michael Jordan documentary, the docu-series.
Oh, no. I didn't know about this.
It's on Netflix now, and I've been going through it. I think I'm on episode 7 or 8, and pretty much it's described as the journey, the timeline of the 90s Chicago Bulls, one of the best sports dynasties ever. But it's really a tribute to Michael Jordan, and, you're repeated time and time and time again how great he is and how great everyone thinks he is and was. And it's a great documentary, and it's so fast-paced, and it gets your blood pumping that you just can't help but just stream or binge through the whole thing. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Oh, man,
it's
MJ,
perfect weather.
Come on.
Perfect weather to do it, too.
One of the heroic... one of the big heroes of the 90s, One of the big
he saved
Michaels.
the Looney Tunes. He saved Bugs Bunny and the rest. And so if it weren't for that, if it wasn't for that Space Jam documentary, we wouldn't have known Michael Jordan's great, attributes to the Looney Tune world.
Well, if you would like to be a part of the Looney Tune fantasy world of Hollywood,
Yeah, good
there are a
connection.
couple of casting opportunities that are currently available to you here in the Boston area, or in the New England region. So this is really great news because, as you know, coronavirus has shut down most industries, has really impacted the acting world and filmmaking and work for actors and background extras. So it's really good to see that things are starting to pick up. So right now, Boston Casting is looking for native Spanish speakers. They're looking for people with accents from Spain, Venezuela, Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, Uruguay, El Salvador, Peru, Nicaragua, Colombia, Guatemala, Panama, and Mexico. That's
Say
the
that
gamut.
twice.
Yeah. Spain, Venezuela. So if you are from if you are a native speaker from any of those countries with that particular accent, Boston Casting is looking for you. They're looking for men 18 to 30, pays $600, and shoots one day on the week of August 24th. Submit yourself to Boston Casting Submit 4 at gmail.com for that opportunity. They've listed all the countries here, but no Cuba. Come on, what's up with that? What's up with that? So there's that, and also filming right now. A movie has begun filming again in the New England region. Now, James, when this whole coronavirus thing happened, our region was slated to have like 10 plus films. Like, there were things that were ongoing, there were things that were just about to get started. Everything had to shut down. So one of the films that has picked back up is a Hallmark holiday Christmas movie. It's filming in Connecticut. And actually, a distant cousin of mine, a family member of mine, got selected and is going to be a background extra in a shot involving a gala. I guess they're having some sort of gala in this Christmas movie.
Is it
that
Christmas?
They're filming.
So are they bringing in fake snow and shoveling it in? And because it's pretty muggy and humid right now.
Yeah, it's pretty gross outside, so it's funny how that happens. And I shot one of these last year, and it's really tough because it's like the winter, and they will, it's set in the winter, they will make you wear a winter coat outside in the heat. And then we're people like, ready to drop. But they give you water or whatever, but it's really rough. That's
the deal to work.
Yeah, they put you through the ringer sometimes, so you gotta watch out for that. But the really interesting part about this, James, was that my cousin was telling me that they have 8 to 15 people that were selected for this gala scene, and he's being told that everyone else is being green screened in. So we've been talking about like how the industry is adapting to social distancing and all of that. So it looks like they're filming a few chunks of people at a time and then green screening them together. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I was going to ask, so are they having, like, say, the first 4 or 5 people just duplicated, like copy and paste? You're just going to add them to the background and like, do that? It's going to be the same people moving the same way?
That's very like Nintendo.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're going to be duplicating them in the background, but I think that they are going to be filming them separate.
Yeah.
And then just kind of combining them all together, so it looks like they're all together, but they're really not.
I could imagine them playing with the focus of the shot. So maybe the main characters are up front, front and center, and then you could see like blurred people walking back and forth, and maybe they'll incorporate tricks like that to show there are people around and surrounding them, but they're just out of focus and you can't see them. Or will it look weird? Because there are movies where they do that, where they put fake people in the audience, and if it's a quick shot, a quick glance, you won't notice. But if you slow things down, then you start noticing how weird people look. They, their bodies don't really match their face or the clothing or that spot. So I hope, I'm sure they have their own music or movie tricks up their sleeves to make this look good and passable.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, any good director is able to play with perspective. And so I think that they're a great solution. I'm just really happy that they're not just straight up CGIing people in the background.
Yeah.
I think that doesn't look good. That never looks good. You know, it doesn't look realistic. So I think it's really cool to hear that that's kind of the tricks that they're pulling here. So we'll see. We'll see how things continue to evolve. Also, I remember seeing the casting for this. And they asked anyone from out of state, from out of the state of Connecticut, if you wanted to be a part of this film, you would have to be willing to quarantine for 2 weeks with the crew in Connecticut, which that's really a lot of your time, you know, dedicated to just trying to get like a day of work. So it's still really rough, but they're working out the kinks.
Is it still the same rate?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'd imagine they'd probably give you a little extra if they're making
you're camping
you
out
quarantine
for a
2
while.
weeks. Yeah, so I don't know, but it's interesting. So we'll continue to keep our pulse, you know, keep the pulse of the industry in New England, you know, Hollywood East, and we'll see how it continues to evolve.
Awesome. So if you fit that description of every Latin country and nationality except for Cuba, go ahead and reach out to, who was it? Who was casting that?
Boston Casting. So Boston Casting submit 4@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, speaking about movies, of course, we're talking about nothing but movies on the show. This is what this podcast is all about. But now with what's going on regarding the pandemic, we're seeing a lot more drive-in theaters pop up, not only at actual facilities that are meant to play movies in a drive-in setup or format, but you're also seeing them pop out at stadiums and parks and all around. But how would you feel, instead of driving, as I mentioned before, driving up to it, the screen, you row a boat, a mini boat, to a spot, and you're just rocking on water, rocking and swaying on water, watching a movie?
I don't know if I'd want to physically exert myself that much. However,
but imagine
it could
the
be
payoff.
a great experience.
Yeah, so let me tell you. So ABC7, they're reporting that Floating Boat Cinema is bringing a new type of theater to Los Angeles and Chicago amid the pandemic.
Okay.
The floating cinema will be made up of 12 to 24 mini boats that hold up between 2 to 8 people, depending how many people go, but a maximum of 8 people. So kind of watching who you interact with.
Mm-hmm.
Don't interact with people outside your family or immediate friends. But yeah, so this is a childhood idea of mine, an invention that my parents and my sister mercilessly mocked me for, because they were like, who would want to row a boat to go see a movie when you could just go to the movie theater, watch it at home, or go to the drive-in? And I thought, no, because this is different. I've never seen anywhere else with an idea like this. And I could be a millionaire right now. It may not have worked in the past 20 years, but this year I would have struck it rich.
Hey, they haven't done it in Boston yet, James. There's still time.
They haven't, and so I'd be very interested to see if it's popular in LA and in Chicago. Do they plan on expanding to more states, more cities, and why not do it here in Boston?
You know what? I'll take your side on this. It's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of, experience. It's not something you're going to do anywhere else. So, just bring the bug spray, get your arm workout in and go see a movie. And don't fall in. Bring
a little bottle of wine, maybe a candle or two, and now you have a romantic dinner.
Flotation device.
Yeah. I don't know if they have to wear a flotation device. Again, I can't think of where they're going to do it in LA. It doesn't say, but, they have small ponds here and there, so maybe. But yeah, floating boats, my idea. Could have been a millionaire. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Thanks, sis.
Thanks for the support.
You blew it. Now, one thing a company is hoping not to blow is their contribution to the streaming wars. Look at that segue.
Yeah. Always hot fire.
Yeah, so joining the streaming wars is NBC Universal with their new service called Peacock TV, and it's a streaming service that has movies, TV shows, news, sports, a Latin, Spanish-speaking channel with Spanish movies, and this operates on a paid tier system. However, the first layer of this tier system is free, and so all you have to do if you want to try it out, risk nothing but your your email address, but just give them your email address, log in, make an account, and then you can watch a lot of shows, a lot of TV shows from NBC and as well as from Universal for free. And if you want to see some of the good stuff and work your way up to the top of the tiers, you can go to a premium tier, which costs about $5 a month. It still comes with commercials, but you have access to original content and a lot more stuff. And then finally, the final tier is like $10, and that's ad free. And yeah, so right now on this streaming service, you can see Jurassic Park, The Matrix, Parks and Rec, Friday Night Lights, Downton Abbey, and because it's Universal, one cool thing that I'm really excited about is that it has all the Universal classic horror monster movies, so Dracula, Frankenstein, The Wolfman. They also have I believe the entire filmography of Alfred Hitchcock. And so you could go on a Alfred Hitchcock bender if you wanted. So right now, it's free service. I would recommend it. I'm not sure if you've dabbled into Peacock yet.
I have not. I have not dabbled into Peacock yet. I don't know how I feel about it, James. There are just so many streaming services, and I feel like with what I am already subscribed to, there's no way that I can get through all of the great content that already exists. So I don't know that I need another streaming service, and I don't know that, I don't think NBC is, nothing against NBC. It's just, I don't know that they're offering anything that I would go out on a limb and get more, and pay for. Sure, maybe I would check out the free tier, but I don't think that they're offering anything that I would go above and beyond to actually pay for. Sorry, NBC.
No, don't get me wrong. I agree. Like, I don't need to add another streaming service to my list of services. However, the free tier. I've been watching a couple shows. What have I watched recently? I will admit this though. So one good thing about it, in addition to the Universal films and everything that comes along with that, it's I would say pretty user friendly. However, I did have some technical difficulties last night with the app. It wouldn't stream on my TV using Google Chromecast. But it did work at my girlfriend's house, strangely, but not at my place. But when it did work, the interface is pretty simple. The website's very simple. It has a clear diagram of films, kind of like the Netflix library. And the app itself is pretty user-friendly, too. And it has a trending page. It has a page for, you could browse. And also, it has live TV. So you can watch, your local news, or at least NBC news. You can watch, also, they're streaming there's a constant channel of shows that are constantly rolling. So, for example, Saturday Night Live, or Murder Mysteries. I was actually watching a few episodes of the older episodes right before this, and they're just strolling on a loop pretty much throughout all the episodes. But it's pretty cool because that you could put that in the background, leave it on, while you're doing other stuff. You don't really have to pay attention. And so I think that's a pretty cool feature that, plus it's nice to feel like you're watching TV. Well, you go in the middle of the show.
Here's a question for you. What I really love about watching some of the streaming services are old shows, the old shows that are coming back and kind of make you feel good and all of that. Last time we talked a little bit about Supermarket Sweep and a couple of the other shows that are being remade. Dinosaurs is coming back. Now you've told me that this is one of your favorite shows from back in the day.
Yeah, apparently there are 4 seasons, and it was funny because it was actually a topic of discussion back on Reddit, just talking about how weird it was too. One, weird, but also great for the use of Muppets, puppets, and animatronics on the dinosaurs' facial features and whatnot. And it was a weird mix of it felt like the old, very classic sitcom-y, but with just dinosaurs. And I guess that is coming to Disney Plus. I'm not sure if I'm down for a reboot. I'm not sure if it deserves a reboot, but the 4 seasons that I watched, if I remember correctly, they're fun and simple. And that is cool. Now for Peacock, you have 21 Jump Street. They have a lot of good old shows. They have there's another older show that I'm trying to pull up right now. But I mean, I don't think you have anything to lose. Oh, they have Cheers. They have a lot of really good stuff. Parks and Recreation. Um, I don't know. I
I
just don't
love
think.
Parks
Oh,
and
they have
Rec.
Columbo. They have
But
Columbo, Saved by the Bell, Murder She Wrote. Let's see, Law and Order, The Rockford Files, The Munsters. So I think the Carol Burnett
oh,
show.
Monsters.
And so yeah, you have
Oh,
a
nice.
yeah. So they have some pretty good stuff. George Lopez, Johnny Carson, Heroes. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm okay. I'm okay with trying it for as long as it's free, and as long as the commercials
Okay.
are manageable and not like always in your face and popping up. But
Oh, right. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I recommend it. I
It's a
recommend it.
little
It's free.
little tantalizing.
Yeah.
I could do some Johnny Carson. I miss me some classic Johnny Carson. Ah, yeah. You
Yeah.
know what? You've convinced me. I'll give it a shot.
All right, there you go. I'll start
shot.
binging on Peacock after I'm done with The Last Dance
Yeah.
on Netflix.
The Last Dance.
Yeah. Michael
What's
Jordan.
that one about?
Michael Jordan.
Oh
the
yeah, yeah. Oh
documentary.
yes, yes. Sorry. Yes, yes. We
It's
were just
the one
talking
where he
about that.
quits. It's the one where he quits basketball to become a ballroom dancer, and then he becomes a
Fabulous.
well-renowned. Yeah. No.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like in real life.
Well,
All right. What?
this
Yeah.
is the
Do
Hub
one
on
of your
Hollywood.
fabulous plugs.
Yeah, let's do it. This is the Hub on Hollywood. Thanks so much for watching. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like, please comment down below. Are you trying Peacock? Are you gonna give the PC a chance? It's free, so you might as well. Also, would you be down for a boat drive-in experience, a row-in experience? I think it's cool. Also, the casting call, check it out. You know, why
Yeah.
not?
All that jazz. You know
Also-
what else they need to check out?
Yeah.
So
Also,
a few
go ahead.
big things that we want to talk about here that are coming down the line, possibly to your entertainment system. So it looks like they are casting a prequel to Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones, wildly popular. The final season, not so much. And this has been something that they've been talking about for years and years, and it seems that they are finally pulling the trigger on it. We talked a little bit about before about how the demand for content is so tremendous, even though there's lots of challenges to actually filming things. But a Game of Thrones prequel that I guess would focus on everything that happened leading up to the events of Game of Thrones. Do you think that people are going to watch it, or are they just saturated? Are they just so over the final season and how it ended?
I think it depends when the prequels are released. If they plan to release them in the next year or two, I can imagine people having fatigue, still having the stench of what happened in the last final season, still fresh in their minds. I think that made, at least for me myself, I think that would have me, not too eager to, dive right into it. Again, there are plenty of other shows that I probably, wait for reviews to come in, see what I think. I'm not sure if I would dive back into the world of Game of Thrones. Again, to be fair, also, the first seasons, the first half of the whole series was pretty great, and so if the people who do take over the helm of this universe, if they are able to give it more justice than the last season that we saw, then I think we should be fine. I think most fans will be forgiving. But again, I think if it's right, in a year or two, if this comes out, maybe still a little too fresh. Those wounds need to be licked and put it down for a little bit before picking it back up.
I think that there's a good chance that it will be good, because all of the prequel stuff is from the mind of George R.R. Martin, and it's kind of already laid out. I think what Game of Thrones suffered from is something that a lot of animes suffer from, because they outpace the source material. So when you've created your anime and you've outpaced the manga, now you have to make weird things up. And I think that the showrunners there at Game of Thrones proved that they are not the best at creating that world.
No.
But, that's also George R.R. Martin's fault. He's had years and years, to finish his Song of Ice and Fire, and he has yet to do that. He's kind of hanging out by the pool. I don't know what he's doing. So that was a little bit of a disappointment, because I don't feel like that ending was very true to the build-up and the story and the characters and the world to anything. All right, I'm being a little harsh, but I do have a little bit of hope for the prequel material. So I would be interested to see it, but I think I agree with you that it needs a little bit more time, and we probably won't see anything till 2021, 2022 anyway.
Yeah, after season 3, I had to start. I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until it was probably seasons 2 or 3 in already, and everybody was talking about it, how crazy the show was, how great it was, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna try reading the book first, and then I'll get into it. And I had a Kindle. I still have a Kindle. I downloaded the book, and then tried going through it, but I stopped very shortly after I started, just because like they introduced so many characters. It's so hard to, one, keep track of all the characters, two, keep track of where they are, what they're doing, and then all these other side stories. And so I gave up on trying to read it, but then I did start watching it, and yeah, the show is easier to go through than the book.
Yeah, it's a lot like Lord of the Rings, where Tolkien describes every blade of grass, and and all of the political machinations of all of these imaginary things, and it's very turgid, it's long, it's hard to get through, but
yeah.
It's a very highly detailed fantasy world. Speaking of highly detailed fantasy world, and a continuation of stories that we love. Lando Calrissian apparently getting his own show on Disney Plus. Reportedly, I think
are these rumors?
Kessel,
are these swirling
these
around?
Are online. This is a report from Kessel Run Transmissions online. They're into the Star Wars stuff, something that they've been sitting on. And reportedly, Donald Glover, who starred as Lando Calrissian in the Solo movie, has a contract in front of him that he's about to sign to reprise his role as Lando Calrissian in a Disney Plus Lando Calrissian focused show. I am very excited about this, okay, for several reasons. First of all, I don't think the Solo movie should have ever kind of been made. I think it should have been Lando focused to begin with. I think there's enough told on screen about Han Solo that I don't need to know the life of Han Solo. I want to know more about the expanded universe. I want to know more about Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian, because he was so good and so just charismatic and everything that Lando is. He does just such a fantastic job, and the fact that he's in love with a robot, and just I don't know, there's so much there to explore. Yeah. That I wish it had been a Lando movie and not a Solo movie. But now we are going to get a little bit more of that in Disney Plus form. So we're going to have Mando and Lando, James. Mando and Lando, though they're not the same timeline. And I have a few questions for you. First of all, how do you feel about this TV show? And second of all, how do you feel about the Star Wars universe expanding on the streaming services, as TV shows versus on the silver screen?
Well, I really like Donald Glover's take of Lando Calrissian, and so of Solo, that's one of the strengths of the movie, I think. And to be fair on Solo, it's not a bad movie, but the fact that it came out right after what was it, The Last Jedi, and it came out just
and Rogue One, and after
it came after 4 months or something, 4 or 5 months after Last Jedi, and Last Jedi left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, including my own. And so after that came out, and
not
then
mine.
Solo, no, not yours, but when it was announced Solo was coming out, I thought it was just way too quick for another back-to-back Star Wars movie, even though it was technically unrelated and its own side Star Wars story. I think just the proximity of the time, kind of with the Game of Thrones and the prequel, they need to space it out. I think there wasn't enough spacing out, so I wasn't a big fan of the movie at the time. I have seen it since, on streaming, and it's not a bad Star Wars movie. It's pretty entertaining, but I agree with you. I don't think it should have been made. That being said, Lando Calrissian, Donald Glover, he did a very great role. The part with his robot buddy, his robot girlfriend, kind of weird, but hey, it's Star Wars, it's space, things happen. So who am I to judge?
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy to see Donald Glover come back and do this. I'm not sure if it's the story I was really eager or waiting to learn more about. It's kind of like Han Solo. It's like they're mysteries. You hear about their tales or the legends of what they've done. The myths and all that stuff makes the character who they are with that lore. And then when you kind of reveal like, oh, how Solo, how Han got his gun, how he got his ship, how he got his friend Chewbacca, it kind of demystifies everything. And so I know Donald Glover, if this were to happen, he would do a great job. Again, not something that I was like hungry or thirsting for. I would like to see more Star Wars side stories, either a Star Wars movie or Disney Plus TV series of another aspect that we haven't seen yet, completely different. But Disney Plus making their money somehow, so why not? I'll probably watch it.
Yes, they are definitely. Of course, we will.
Yeah.
They've definitely capitalized off of their purchase of Star Wars for sure, and it's going to keep going on. But one of the most interesting things about this announcement, James, is not only that Donald Glover is reprising his role here, but so might Billy D. Williams. So we might be seeing an older Lando.
Does it open with like Billy D. Williams Lando just like on a couch with a pipe, like reading a book in front of it, and then it goes back to a flashback?
I don't know if it's all flashbacks, but I think what Disney is doing for themselves is they're creating a method by which they can expand the universe in multiple directions, forward and backwards. They can tell history, and they can, maybe tell some stories after episode 9. Because Billy D. Williams is not getting any younger, and I don't think they're going to DH him. So we could see some Lando post this last episode 9 that came out, and of course, you're not going to agree with me on this, but my fondest wish is that he teams up with Rey and they go find Ben Solo and bring him back from the world between worlds.
Just let it die. Just let it die.
Let the past die. Let the past die.
Dead.
I will never let Ben Solo die. I love him. Ben Solo forever.
Well, speaking about a dead Solo, here's a big question: do you expect Han Solo to show up? I'm not expecting Harrison Ford, but I'm talking about like Alden Ehrenreich, the one who played Han Solo in Solo. Do you think he'll be coming back?
It's possible. It's a possibility. Definitely. I don't think that he'll be the focus of it, or
yeah, because I don't think he's going to be in Solo 2. I don't think there will be.
You don't think there'll be a?
I don't think there'll be a Solo 2.
No, there's so many directions that they can go with. Like, it could be a post-episode 9. It could be a Solo 2. It could be, even before that. I think there are lots of different directions they could go with it. I think, I don't think that Solo 2 is a great possibility, but, I don't know. There's just a lot of different ways that they can go with it, and I'm kind of excited about the storytelling possibilities there. And you know what? I'm going to keep my ridiculous flame alive. I don't care what you say, but I love it. I love that they're creating ways there to keep the fans engaged and to tell new and interesting stories and to get another scoundrel on the scene, on the screen, who we love, and more positive vibes from the Star Wars universe. That's what I'm looking for.
More positive vibes, yeah. So I would like. I'm kind of a hypocrite because I just said that I would like to see new stuff that we haven't seen. But to be fair, also I would like to see Ahsoka, and we hear rumor that she's going to be showing up in The Mandalorian.
All of that stuff.
And so you know what, I'm a hypocrite too. So what do I know? So yeah, Billy D. Williams, Donald Glover, get back here on Disney Plus and
call us.
Take us around on the Millennium Falcon for a spin.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Harrison! Can we get Harrison?
He won't do it unless the paycheck's big enough. He's not gonna.
I'm just putting it out into the universe. That's what I'm doing.
Harrison, you're watching the video right now. I just know it. So, are you gonna be in the Disney Plus Lando Calrissian version of the show? Are you? Let us know. Comment down below.
Okay. And what about you guys? Are you excited about the Lando movie? What stories do you want to hear told? What do you think about the future of Star Wars? Are you happy with having most of the new Star Wars stories being told on the streaming services on Disney Plus? Would you like to see more stuff in the movie theaters or vice versa? Let us know. Join the conversation. We love talking about Star Wars.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for listening to this week's episode or watching this episode. Please like us, subscribe, comment, love us, gotta have us, all the above. Yeah, for this
Exactly.
week, I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
Bye.
See you next time. Boom, 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 boom. Raylo!